Hi, I'm Jerry Paul and I'm an indie author, and welcome back to my channel. There are so many different things that frustrate me while writing, and I know that I'm not alone there. So I thought that I would do a video about those frustrations and how I work through them, around them, or avoid them altogether. So here we go. Number 1, writer's block. This is something that you can't always avoid. I try to because it's something that has stopped me in my tracks for a while. My best advice is a number of things. One is to make sure that it's actually being blocked and not something like being burnt out. Another is to check your outline if you have one, and maybe decide if it needs to be redone, or if you're not using one, to try it and see. I'm personally someone who works best with a minimal plan, and honestly, hand on heart, I don't get writer's block really anymore. I think something that can really help with writer's block is setting up a writing routine and making sure that you stick to it, because once your brain realizes that it's your writing time, you might find that writer's block is something of the past. Of course, I can tell you to keep writing through it, but that doesn't always work for everybody. So do a mental check-in, make sure you're not stretching yourself too thin, and assess the situation. Having been there this time last year, it's not fun, and it can be a big thing if you don't nip it in the bud quickly. So be careful and take care of yourself. Number 2. Time management. As I'm sure you are all aware by now, I do a lot of organising to keep myself productive. I personally use sticky notes and a planner, but there are bullet journals and other planners and all of that. This frustration comes through when you are still learning what you're capable of. When I first started trying to set aside time to write, I really struggled with how much I could manage. This was way before the sticky notes and the planner, and has everything to do with not being aware of how much time I had to write. You have to realise I was doing my degree, so that always came first, and for a while I had weekly goals, and then fortnightly goals, and then finally the monthly goals on a private blog. And it took me a long time to get past the frustration of not knowing just how little was too little and how much was too much. And that led me to sticky notes and setting my goals so low that I knew I could manage them, which then helped me work out what I could manage. So a way to avoid this frustration is to start small, like really small, a page, a set number of words, a time limit, whatever, something that's so tiny it's not overwhelming, and build on it from there. Eventually, you'll hopefully get to a point where you can work out what you can do and avoid the mismatch of time management. Number 3. Pets galore. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I used to have a kitty called Miss Pen, who would love to star in my videos by being perched on my shoulders. I've also had some videos with Miss Violet in the shot, loving up the mic as well. My point is that they didn't just do that while filming. Even with Miss Pen gone now, Violet doesn't miss an opportunity to sit on my arm while I am trying to type, or rub my hand when I'm trying to get the words in. That's not even to mention the times when they will literally sit in my lap and demand cuddles right this second. So I get that sometimes the writing time is not your own. This can apply to kids as well. They want things, they need your time as well. And while you love them to bits, you need to get the words going. My advice here is to find ways around it. For kids, try doing it when they're at school or napping, if that's at all possible. For pets, put places on the desk where they can be close, but not actually on the keyboard while you're trying to write. It's a pleasure and a privilege to have them nearby. My heart still breaks that Miss Pen is no longer with us, but you've got to get the words done. Number 4. Unable to word. There are days when wording is hard. I know this will make sense to the majority of writers out there. It brings a Tumblr post to mind where it said, "Do you know how hard it is to make the words go?" And yes, I do. Very much so. There are going to be days when you are so ready to write and you're not blocked, you have the scene in your head and you just have to make the words go. And you can't. No matter how much you try, you just can't. My advice here is simple. Take a breath, drink some tea or coffee or your equivalent. If possible, go outside for a bit and just breathe. It might be that you're burning out. It might be that you're just having a bad day. It might be that you're super stressed and deadlines and such aren't helping. But I'm not saying stop and take the day to do what you wish when you have a deadline. That's not always possible. I am saying take a break, at least 15 minutes, longer if you can, and just take a breather, let yourself think and identify why you're unable to word, and then get back to it. I find this usually helps, and my go-to for finding out why is talking through it with a friend, though usually I work out why before I finish talking. Number 5, autosave failing. I know you all know the pain of this, when you've worked so long and hard on a chapter and then the computer or the programmer crashes and you think, thank God for autosave. And then the universe laughs at you. You open it up and all that work is gone. This happened a few too many times to me, to the point where I stopped using Word as my main writing program and switched to OpenOffice. Now their autosave isn't any good either, it still misses when problems occur, but I've also trained myself to save every 15 minutes or so. It might be a weird habit to have, but it's a good one when you consider how much you can lose in one go. I even do it while writing blog posts and such, because when they're written in Notepad and that doesn't have an autosave. It's not the best idea, but it's my solution, and I know that this is something that can happen to anyone. On top of that, I always save my works to Dropbox whenever I finish a chapter. This is for 2 reasons. 1, if my computer crashes and I lose anything, I have an up-to-date backup. And 2, I can easily work on it on my tablet if for whatever reason I'm not at my desk. And that can be a good thing to think about as well. Number 6, interruptions. The blessed sound of people interrupting you while you work. I know this is a frustration that most writers and authors have. Even when you live alone, there's always the phone or the door to answer. And sometimes it can be small and insignificant and you can get straight back to work. But other times it's people popping over and you don't want to be rude, so you shy away from saying you're working and you just kind of move on to being a good host. This is kind of tied to the pets and kids one, that there are some interruptions you can't avoid, and that's just part of life. My solution to this has been to let people know the times and days I work. And even then, emergencies happen, life gets in the way, so it's not always an easy and complete solution. And the telemarketers will always try and catch you at home. For that reason, it's gotten to the point that we don't answer the home phone anymore, and I don't have time to take their surveys because I need to get writing. Number 7, denied entry to the zone. Oh, the illustrious writing zone. I don't know whether I'm in the minority here, but when I get to a certain pace of writing, I feel the words come alive and I'm in the zone. I feel like I could write for hours without even noticing the time has passed. And it's always my best work and my greatest writing sessions when I hit that zone. But then some days, no matter how much I'm doing right, the zone is all access denied. I'm talking about the good days, no interruptions, no block or problem writing the words, just flat out speeding along, typing my heart out, and I still can't get in there. And for all this, I don't have a solution other than to keep writing away. There will be times when it happens and there will be times when it just doesn't. And you have to learn to be okay with both, because when you make writing your job, you have to do it whether you're in the zone or not. That's one of the harsh realities of being a writer. You've got to write the words, even when it sucks, even when it's hard. And number 8, other such hiccups. I added this one because there are other frustrations that don't really make their own points. I'm talking about forgetting to eat, or having to stop to take meds, or go out right when you're in the middle of things even though your writing time has passed. These are all frustrations that you will go through as a writer, and through them you will learn your own coping skills. There are some that will never happen to you, and others that I've not mentioned that will. Writing is hard. It's always hard. I say this having been doing this for 19 years, which is a little terrifying to be honest. I have written countless books, I released at almost 17, and I still struggle. But the main thing, the reason you're doing this is because you have a story to tell. So no matter what the frustrations are that you face, just remember that and you will be fine. Make friends in the writing community, reach out for support, and know that you are not alone. So there we have it, my tips and tricks for dealing with writing frustrations, and some that you might come across along the way. Do you have any tips, or do you have any writing frustrations that you want to share with us in the comments? If so, let me know. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, subscribe, or like. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere. And don't forget to pre-order Lights On or pick up Lights Out. And if you do pre-order, don't forget to pick up the swag. All the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.